There's been a lot written about the recent surge in white supremacy in this country, and just about every statistic we've seen shows that it is in fact on the rise. A piece in the Daily Beast 2 years ago called out President Trump for refusing to use the term white supremacist terrorism, even though the president is quick to condemn people for not using the term radical Islamic terror. The author of that piece, Dean Obeidallah, was then targeted himself by a neo-Nazi website called The Daily Stormer, and its followers also began to target him. Obeidallah sued the site's founder, Andrew Anglin, and Obeidallah just won a $4.1 million settlement for defamation. Daily Beast contributor Dean Obeidallah joins us now. He is also the host of Sirius XM Radio's The Dean Obeidallah Show. Dean, congratulations on your victory in court. How does it feel to know you've done more to push back against white supremacists and neo-Nazis than the President of the United States?
It was a team effort, frankly, from Muslim advocates, their organization, the lawyers at Latham and Watkins, and the Chandra Group law firm in Ohio that did this. And, you know, that's interesting you mentioned Trump, because this story, my story, is intertwined with Trump's emboldening of white supremacists, because the reason the Daily Stormer, which is a neo-Nazi publication, went after me is because I wrote an article in May 2017, 3 months before Charlottesville white supremacist rallies, denouncing white supremacists, writing about the uptick in white supremacist violence we had seen in the first few months of the Trump administration, and calling on Trump to use the term white supremacist terrorism. The same way he said, to combat ISIS, you must say radical Islamic terrorism. I said, then Trump, why won't you use the terms white supremacist terrorism? And that caught the attention of Andrew Anglin at the Daily Stormer, the editor there, who wrote the article attacking me. So it's interesting you say Trump, because this is all intertwined with him.
And just to be clear, the president still hasn't used the phrase white supremacist terrorism. In fact, he's barely condemned white supremacists at all.
He is not. And this is a man who is not bashful about his views, who will take to Twitter to call the media the enemy of the people, yet he has never tweeted that white supremacy is the enemy of the people, or David Duke is the enemy of the people, or the Daily Stormer is the enemy of the people. And they know it, they hear it. And let's be blunt, Donald Trump was cultivating their support during the campaign. I said it objectively. He retweeted people with white supremacist Twitter handles like white genocide, literally white genocide, to refusing to denounce David Duke in February 2016 when Jake Tapper asked him specifically to, during the campaign, championing their views from a Muslim ban to ending immigration and building a wall. So this is a man who cultivated them, who they believe stood by them. So when I attacked their beloved Trump, they stood by him and came after me.
The neo-Nazis in the Stormer then accused you of being behind an ISIS attack, of all things, which would have been bad enough and even cause for a lawsuit, but they went a lot further than that, right?
They did. They actually fabricated tweets. Now, thankfully, they could not post them online, but they look exactly like real tweets, and they embedded them in an article. And in those tweets, they wrote in these lies that I was involved in the Manchester bombing, which left 22 dead at an Ariana Grande concert, that I was celebrating it. I was happy. I did it for my faith. I'm Muslim. I did it in praise of Allah. And that they told their readers, go confront me, which, as you might imagine, when you're telling white supremacists, neo-Nazis, go confront a terrorist, the result is a lot of death threats directed at me.
You know, it would have been a lot easier to just let this all go and put up with whatever grief their followers were giving you. What prompted you to take this to court and to file suit?
Well, the goal of the Daily Stormer, the goal of white supremacists is to silence those who speak out, especially in people in the communities they despise. In my case, Muslims or Jewish Americans, LGBT community, African Americans, immigrant Americans. They want to silence us from speaking out against them. And I wanted to make it clear that you can threaten me. Yeah, and I was concerned. To be blunt, I contacted security. I had to change my daily routine for a little while because of it. But you're not going to silence me, nor the rest of our communities that want to stand up to you. In fact, not only are we not going to be silenced, we're not going to cower in fear. We're going to go to court. We're going to sue you. We're going to win. We're going to come take your money. That's what we're going to do.
Finally, Dean, you've been awarded $4.1 million from the Stormer in this case. Do you know if they even have that money? And if they do, I understand you're not planning on keeping the money.
Right. We have local counsel in Ohio that will pursue them. There's no indication they have that amount of money. I hope we collect some money from them. I will not personally keep any of the Nazis' money. I will donate it to organizations that fight white supremacy. I will donate to organizations, the very organizations the Nazis despise, like Muslim groups and Jewish groups and African American groups. To me, the best way to use their money is to invest in groups trying to destroy and marginalize their hateful ideology. So that's the whole thing, what this is really about. It's not about me collecting a penny. It's about defeating white supremacy because we have a man in the White House that refuses to denounce them.
And the irony is, if they don't have the money, then every dollar they make from now into the future goes to you, which then goes to groups that are opposed to white supremacists and opposed to neo-Nazis. Dean Obeidallah, congratulations. You're a writer, comedian, radio host, and the winner of this lawsuit against the Daily Stormer. Congratulations. Thanks for a few minutes.
Thanks very much.
Up next, ever since the war on drugs started, drug offenders have been clogging up the courts and causing a surge in the prison population. But that could be changing with a new push to get addicts to treatment instead of court by decriminalizing all drugs, even the hard stuff. That's next.